you guys are watching.
Hello and welcome to Clearview Television News. We're reaching you live from Nigeria's capital city, Abuja. In the news, again, Lagos State House of Assembly summons ex-governor Akinwumi Ambode over alleged shady financial transactions. Federal government inaugurates a mini meal collection center in Kano. United States President Donald Trump confirms killing of world's most wanted terrorist, Abubakar al-Baghdadi. I am Prudence Okon now with the details of these and more stories. The immediate past governor of Lagos State, Akinwumi Ambode, has been asked to appear before the committee of House by 1 p.m. to say all he knows about some financial transactions that took place under his administration. A publicized invite entitled Notice of Summons, Mr. Akinwumi Ambode, in brackets, the former governor of Lagos State, was signed by the clerk of the House, Mr. A. Sani. In the notice, the former governor was reminded of the importance of appearing before the committee to shed light on 5 point infractions raised by the Assembly. The governor had shunned an earlier summon by the House when he, alongside three of his commissioners and accountant general of the state, were invited. And the government of Oyo State is setting its eyes on the solid mineral sector as a major boost for its internally generated revenue. A special advisor to the governor on solid minerals development, Abiodun Uni, said this in a presentation on behalf of the state government at the just concluded fourth edition of the Nigerian Mining Week. He said that the state government would heavily rely on solid minerals to finance the social interventions and welfare programs of Governor Sheyi Makinde. Oni, in his presentation themed or Your State to the World, bridging the gap between potentials and investments, held at the NAF Conference Center, Abuja, stated that your state had billions in its grounds which were yet to be explored and exploited. He maintained that the Makinde administration was striving hard to put solid mineral development on the map because the government needed funds to drive the many social intervention projects being embarked upon by the state governor. According to Uni, the Oyo state government was targeting solid mineral development because it remained one of the quick wins for it to boost its internal revenue, adding that Governor Makinde was set to put money into the sector towards data gathering, digitization, availability, and accessibility, which is said would make it easy to attract investors to the state. Airport and airport users across the country have been reminded of the need to make judicious use of facilities at airport terminals with a view to preserving them. The Director of Airport Operations of the Federal Airports Authority of Nigeria, Captain Mukhtar Yusuf Muye, who gave this charge at the Mala Aminu International Airport, Kano, while fielding questions from newsmen, said passengers have a great role to play in order to ensure durability of facilities at airports by handling them with care. We noted that some passengers were not bothered with manner in which they handle public facilities, urging them to see airport facilities as their own when handling them. Meanwhile, Regional Airport Manager Malam Aminu Kano International Airport, Alhaji Sabo Giade, has assured passengers making use of the oldest airport in Africa of a world-class terminal as soon as the terminal building was commissioned. Giade told journalists that the new terminal will provide space for passenger facilitation as the current terminal was overstretched, especially at the international terminal, as almost all the aircraft arrive at the same time. He explained that the present international terminal building will be converted to domestic use as soon as the new international terminal was open. And the national leader of the All Progressives Congress, APC, Bolaji Asiwaju Tinubu, has said that there is no need for an airport in Ado-Ekiti, the capital of Ekiti State. Tinubu stated this at the seventh convocation ceremony of Afeba Balola University, Ado-Ekiti, Abua. He recollected that there have been plans to build an airport in Ado-Ekiti, plans that the state has been working on for years, leading to the inauguration of an eight-man committee to oversee its construction. He said the past administration failed to bring the project to fruition, and Governor Fayemi has sought to continue the push. Chief Afe Babalola is said to be the one pushing for the project as he allegedly feels the need for the airport because of his university. But speaking at the convocation ceremony, Tinubu told the audience that there is clearly no need for an airport in Ado-Ekiti. A former Lagos governor added that building one in the city would amount to waste of the state's scarce resources. Tinubu pointed out that the functional airport in Akure, the capital of Ondo State, will fulfill the air transport needs of residents of Ekiti State as well as visitors to the state. According to Tinubu, what the Ekiti State should do is to push for the fixing of the Akure Ado Ekiti Road because an airport in Akure will effectively serve both states. And the House of Representatives Ad hoc Committee on Abandoned Federal Road in the country has expressed shock that the Odupani to Kot Ekpene dualization road contract was not fully awarded by the federal government. Contract for the dualization of the road was awarded on April 24, 2018 by the Federal Ministry of Works and Housing with a completion duration of 30 months. However, the committee was surprised to know that some sections of the road, totaling 29.3 kilometers, have not been awarded for construction. Speaking to journalists on Saturday after inspecting the Akwa Ibom State stretch of the road from Ididep in Ibiono Ibom to Ayadehe in two local government councils, respectively, the chairman of the committee, Francis Udoyok, frowned at the exclusion of key sections of the road by the federal government. A chairman who led other six members of his ad hoc committee assured the people of the area and Nigerians at large that when their reports would have been handed over to the Ministry of Works, the pains people are going through on the road would be a thing of the past. Committee acknowledged that the Kalabaitu Road traversed through about three states, which makes it very important to the economy of the country, noting that despite the paucity of funds, the committee would urge the federal government to release enough funds to the company handling the road as to complete it on time. And Katsina State House of Assembly and 34 local government council areas in the state have expressed their readiness to strengthen laws and regulations governing the state's tree planting and deforestation program. This is one of the solutions reached at the end of a two-day sensitization workshop in Katsina organized by the European Union under its Fuel World Balance project. Clevi TV's Ahmad Mohammed now reports.
This workshop is aimed at sustaining and replication of impacts made by the Fuel Wood Balance Project sponsored by the European Union. Planting of economic trees and discouraging deforestation in Katsina State are part of the Foba Lot 2 project in some 7 local government areas across the Katsina Northern Senatorial District. But as the project is about to wind up, implementers are saying there is need for proper legal framework to address the challenges of indiscriminate cutting down of trees. Hence the need for this workshop. But the state and local councils officials have promised to make enabling laws to address the challenges of deforestation across Katsina State.
In fact, it is the first time of my attending to the occasion and being us as lawmakers. Inshallah, when we go back to the house, make sure what was discussed and the input the House Assembly is going to give, will communicate with others colleagues of ours, and we'll make sure whatever we agreed upon, inshallah, it is going to work. in the house. Explain it to them on what we have seen and understand on the what FOAP is all about.
As we have rightly pointed out in our declaration, the first thing to do is to integrate the program, to integrate the WOA project into our local government activities. Then, at the end of the day, we are going to have like a state of emergency to declare that this program must be demonstrated in our own activity in the agricultural department so that we can go back and sit down and design a strategic action plan on how to implement it at the local government level.
Chris Odokan is the Kazuna Foroba Lot 2 project manager. He expressed delight over the response of the participants.
The issue of legislation and enforceability was looked at, and everybody accepted that there were some lapses in the tree tenure regulations and some forestry issues. So they decided and agreed that the House of Assembly should immediately take steps to consolidate all the fragmented versions of the laws that were amended right from 1979 up to 2017. That was the strongest part of the declaration. Then thirdly, the, the participants or the meeting or the workshop also agreed that budget process and appropriation should be effectively handled through our recommended community development planning budget strategies.
During the workshop, there were testimonies from some Foroba trained private nursery owners and women who are using the Foroba Clean Cook stove produced by the International Center for Energy, Environment and Development. The participants expressed satisfaction with level of commitment shown by the participants towards replicating the Foroba project components, towards replicating the components of the Foroba project to other parts of Kazana State. Ahmad Ibrahim, Clear V News, Katsina.
The Nigerian government has been told to give priority attention to the treatment and prevention of breast cancer through better funding and increased awareness campaign. This is one of the top recommendations reached at medical experts and other stakeholders met at the University of Medical Sciences, UNIMED, Ondo, to re-evaluate the country's health system. Our correspondent now brings us the details.
According to the report of the World Health Organization (WHO) published in 2014, Nigeria ranks among countries in the world with the poorest cancer care system. To address this challenge, medical experts and other interest groups are meeting in Ondo to chart a way forward. The consensus among them is the need for improved funding for breast cancer treatment in the country.
BRECAN, Breast Cancer Association of Nigeria, is an initiative of the wife of the governor of Ondo State, Alabirin Betty Anyanwu Akeredolu. No, we don't really know the actual cause of breast cancer, but we know at times hereditary is hereditary, and lifestyle at times. You know, when you drink alcohol, when you take too much of sugar, when you don't exercise.
While increased funding is being awaited, the stakeholders also called on government to step up the awareness campaign on prevention or early detection of breast cancer.
We have been sensitized on how to check it. So I believe the parents here have been educated on that, and they will know how to check their breast for any form of lumps.
The team titled "A Stitch in Time Save Lives: Breast Cancer Prevention Advocacy in Nigeria."
And retired federal civil servants in Nigeria have again called on the authorities to put in place a mechanism that will end at what they described as the unending verification exercises with attendant sufferings of pensioners. Chairman Nigerian Union of Pensioners North Central Region renewed the plea in Jos Plateau State during one of the verification exercises organized by the Pension Transitional Arrangement Directorate. We have the details.
Gathered here in Jos, the Plateau State capital, are retired public officers from the 6 states that make up the North Central geopolitical zone of the country. They have all come for verification and capturing of their biodata, a regular requirement for the payment of their benefits and pensions. But how relevant is the frequent pension verification exercises? Some of the senior citizens speak.
Where people come, their paper will be looking to, because of one paper or the other. We ask them to go. You have to go to court as well for affidavit. You have to go back to your office for stamping. But the man is there present. He has the photocopy.
For me, personally, there is not any challenges. I've been receiving my patient regularly.
However, the authorities say the regular verification exercises are aimed at correcting observed abnormalities.
We're here to make sure that every eligible pensioner is captured on our database. And we're also here to look into their complaints. Some people complain that they're not getting their pensions regularly, they're not on the database, they are being underpaid, their gratuities have not been paid, and we're owing them arrears. So we're here to get all this information.
The Executive Secretary, Pension Transitional Arrangement Directorate, noted that though the verification processes may be hectic, it is better for retirees to comply with the processes to allow for an efficient payment system. She further advised pensioners not to be deceived by the fraudsters who might be pretending to help them fast track the payment of their benefits and pensions.
The compassionate and selfless service of the Egbere Emero Okori and Eta Ogale Eleme, His Royal Highness Apollo's true to humanity and society have once again been recognized as he receives the Pharmaceutical Society of Nigeria State Chapter Award of Excellence. The award was presented to him during the Society's Pharmacy Resource Center fundraising launch on and awards in Port Harcourt, South Nigeria. Correspondent now completes the story.
Such a time in Nigeria when there is lack of access to safe medicines and food, a time when citizenry constantly solicit for funds to get health care, when there are increasing cases of drug abuse, the Pharmaceutical Society of Nigeria Rivers State Branch is establishing a pharmacy resource center, first of its kind in sub-Saharan Africa, that will address these issues. There are individuals who are committed to seeing this become a reality due to their philanthropic nature, the likes of His Royal Highness Apollo's True. In fact, he has attracted a cottage hospital and regularly pays the medical bills of people. These are what PSN River State Branch has seen and has honored him with an award of excellence. He received the award alongside some pharmacists who made marks during their lifetime. The governor of Rivers State was also given an award. The deputy governor was around to receive.
I would have seen his contributions. So I want to congratulate you, Chima, and your team for getting such a great man to be here to support your cause. I believe that if you have 10 of such people, this project will be almost done.
The state drugstore has also been repositioned and stocked to provide essential drugs to our health institutions.
For the Royal Father, His Royal Highness Apollo's True, the Pharmacy Resource Center's concept is laudable and would control the influx of fake drugs. The award, he says, will spur him to do more.
This kind of arrangement that you will have actually demonstrated, I believe, to go a long way, a good message and a good signal to encourage members of this country to work hard. So we are sure that we, the traditional ruler, we are in partnership with you.
Friends and family of the Egbere Emere Okori Eleme and Honor Eta Ogale, His Royal Highness Apollo's True, notes that their king's attitude of giving back to society is worthy of emulation.
I think it is a very big lesson to us, what he is doing. For him to receive double award in 1 week, it means he has worked so hard.
The king was accompanied by chiefs from his kingdom.
You're watching Clearview Television News. More news after this time out.
The Kogi Trade and Tourism Expo is here. Come and showcase your products and make more sales while you discover more business opportunities. Date 1st to 3rd November 2019. Venue H Drive Hotel, Lokoja, Kogi State Capital. Theme Harnessing Opportunities for Sustainable Economic Development. For inquiries, call the following numbers: 0803 684 8623, 0803 453 7392, and 0803 656 9993. Facebook, Kogi Trade Expo 2019, and Instagram, Kogi Trade and Tourism Expo. Kogi Trade and Tourism Expo, business opportunities at your disposal.
Hey, my guy, how far now? I say make I remind you say say tomorrow tomorrow we won't go mess up the election. Tomorrow we won't go destroy everywhere. Guns day, cutlass day, bottles day, everything will dey scatter everywhere. I swear.
Solo. So you are planning to disrupt election and steal ballot? How much did chief pay you to do this thing you are doing? How much? Tell me.
Millions, dollars.
Millions, dollars compared to your life. Solomon. Chief has 3 children. Solo 3 good children. Shegun is in Canada. Ola is in Australia. Sheyi is in the US. Why did Chief give his children the millions to do what you are about to do?
Of course, Chief is wise. His children, not you, deserve every protection. Be wise.
Welcome back, and moving on, the Supreme Court of Nigeria has picked Wednesday, October 30, 2019, for the commencement of a hearing of appeal suit filed by the presidential candidate of the People's Democratic Party (PDP) in the 2019 general elections, Atiku Abubakar, and his party challenging the judgment of the Presidential Election Tribunal, which affirmed the election of President Muhammadu Buhari. PDP revealed this on Sunday via its official Twitter handle. The Presidential Elections Petition Tribunal has on September 2nd upheld the victory of President Muhammadu Buhari and his party, the All Progressives Congress, as the winner of the February 23rd general election. Atiku and PDP have approached the Apex Court and filed an appeal on 5 grounds. They allege that the panel of the Presidential Election Tribunal erred in law when they relied on overall interest of justice to hold that the second respondents as exhibits R1 to R26, P85, and P86 were properly admitted in evidence. And the Supreme Court on Friday upheld the 2 appeals filed by Rivers State Governor Nyesom Wike, challenging the decisions of the Court of Appeal. The Court of Appeal
Trade and Tourism Expo is here. Come and showcase your products and make more sales while you discover more business opportunities. Date 1st to 3rd November 2019. Venue H Hotel, Lokoja, Kogi State Capital. Theme Harnessing Opportunities for Sustainable Economic Development. For inquiries, call the following numbers: 0803 684 8623, 0803 453 7392, and 0803 656 9993. Facebook, Kogi Trade Expo 2019, and Instagram, Kogi Trade and Tourism Expo. Kogi Trade and Tourism Expo, business opportunities at your disposal.
Hey, my guy, how far now? I say make I remind you say say tomorrow tomorrow we won't go mess up the election. Tomorrow we won't go destroy everywhere. Guns day, cutlass day, bottles day, everything will dey scatter everywhere. I swear.
Solo. So you are planning to disrupt election and steal ballot. How much did chief pay you to do this thing you are doing? How much? Tell me.
Millions, dollars.
Millions, dollars compared to your life. Solomon. Chief has 3 children. Solo, 3 good children. Shegun is in Canada. Ola is in Australia. Sheyi is in the US. Why did Chief give his children the millions to do what you are about to do?
Of course, Chief is wise. His children, not you, deserve every protection. Be wise.
Ute. Any give phone to Smally, make I follow her. Go.
It's Wasu, your former driver.
Hey! Wasu! Video call! Oh, Kaka! Mommy! With my Glow 4G, I can now upload my cars online, sell, and make plenty profit. Guess what they call me now, mommy? The new mega online car dealer.
Wasu! Strike now when the iron is hot.
See, we won't be like Shaki. I will come and meet you specially and bring one big one for you.
Why you won't see me?
Your daughter. I want to marry her.
You know well? I've been wanting to do it.
Hello?
When Glow 4G day of you, confidence must stay body. Data is oxygen. Glow for the new speed of life. Your number one 4G network nationwide. The very best from Glow, the grandmasters of data.
Come join us this November 6th and 7th, 2019 in the glittering city of Dubai in United Arab Emirates as we showcase Africa's best in security, safety, governance, academia, leadership and media for the world to see at the 16th Africa Security Watch Awards.
These great African personalities, governments and corporate bodies will be celebrated and receive their Crystal Awards trophies in an evening of glamour, class and culture at the beautiful Radisson Blue Hotel, Dubai Diara Creek, Dubai, United Arab Emirates. Awards lecture to be delivered by His Excellency Chief Willie Obiano, Governor of Anambra State, Nigeria.
Keynote speakers are Professor Samuel Sheda, Executive Dean, Faculty of Military Science, Stellenbosch University, Lieutenant General Tiwa Borodai, Nigeria's Chief of Army Staff, IGP Mohammed Abubakar Adamu, Inspector General of Police Nigeria. Africa Security Watch Awards, a celebration of security and safety excellence in Africa.
Welcome back, and it may be a season of uncovering illegal rehabilitation centers in some parts of northern Nigeria. Barely 1 week after such centers were discovered in Daura, Katsina State, and in Zaria, Kaduna State, Akara State Police Command says it has uncovered another illegal rehabilitation center at Girin Alimi area of Ilorin, the state capital. As our correspondent now reports, the Ilorin Rehabilitation Center, which is being run by a 75-year-old man, Rahim Owotutu, has about 108 victims, comprising 103 males and 5 females.
The Kwara State Commissioner of Police, Kayode Egbetokun, said his men raided the illegal rehabilitation center following an impeccable intelligence.
The command acted on impeccable intelligence about the existence of an illegal detention camp at Girialime within the Ilorin metropolis, where young persons, mostly children, are being unlawfully detained and kept in the most deplorable conditions. It is so sad that fellow humans can be kept in that kind of condition, especially children.
The owner of the illegal rehabilitation center, Rahim Owutu, said he has been operating the center since 1977 and denied collecting money from parents except 2,500 naira form fee. However, the victims of the illegal rehabilitation center said they were maltreated and their parents paid about 150,000 naira to the operator of the center.
They say my mom said I'm stubborn and I smoke weed. After that, then I was taken to this room where I saw boys of 4 years old being locked up for almost 5 years, claiming they are learning Arabic and they're not learning nothing. I've been there. I'm a Christian. I've never prayed. My mom paid over 100,000, 150 just 4 days ago.
The carry us go there, say you want to go and do they kill for there. And the time when they carry us reach inside place, now so person they shit person no come out, person go die.
The Economic and Financial Crimes Commission (EFCC) plans to spend 42 million naira on payment of rent in the 2020 fiscal year, despite several seizures and forfeiture of properties, including building by EFCC from politically exposed persons and others who acquired properties through illegal means in its course of fight against corruption in the country. Many governments, ministries, departments, and agencies are also operating from rented properties. The FCC Act 2004 confers the right to manage properties and assets seized on EFCC. Section 2428 of the Act specifically puts the forfeiture of property and assets suspected to connect to fraud or connected thereto on the doorstep of the anti graft agency. According to Section 30, subsection 1 of the Act, a final order for feature in which the assets and property of person convicted under the Act shall be forwarded to the Commission, and Section 30, subsection 2 states that upon receipt of final order pursuant to this section, the Secretary to the Commission shall take steps to dispose of the property concerned by sale or otherwise, and where the property is sold, the proceeds then shall be paid into the Consolidation Revenue Fund of the Federation. Under the leadership of Acting Chairman Ibrahim Magu, Sunday about 407 mansions were seized, out of which 126 have been finally forfeited, while 281 were under interim forfeiture. And as part of activities marking this year's Hand Washing Day, a group Water Aid was at the Gariki International Market in Abuja City to create awareness and enlighten market men and women on how to be more hygienic to prevent waterborne diseases. Clevy TV's Ogbara Ridwan was at the event and now reports.
Hand washing day is observed on the 15th of October every year across the world. Though this year's celebration of the day has come and gone, Water Aid on Thursday took the celebration further by taking the hand washing campaign to the doorsteps of traders at the Garke Market, Abuja, and their teaming customers. The objective is to educate and sensitize market women and men on the importance of carrying their various businesses under the hygienic condition, particularly in washing their hands frequently to protect items of trade from any form of contamination. Lukumbo Emmanuel, who is the Planning, Monitoring and Evaluation Manager at Water Aid Nigeria, advised the public to make hand washing a daily routine to keep them healthy and disease-free.
Well, the message is very clear. We have seen the benefits of hand hygiene. So when we make it as part of our normal routine, as part of the things we should be doing as individuals, we will see that apart from just reducing incidences of diseases and spread of diseases, we'll see that we'll be living healthy lives. So hand washing as a message is something that everybody should take on, as part of the things they would be doing in their daily lives.
A representative of the Federal Ministry of Water Resources, Yemisi Akpara, encouraged people to wash their hands regularly to avoid diseases.
Washing their hands with soap and water at all these critical times ensure that they don't transfer those germs to their mouth and ingest them, which could lead to different diseases like diarrhea, cholera, and other kind of diseases that are associated with such things. So washing their hands with soap and water creates a barrier that ensures that they live a healthy life.
Wash Media Network, a group of journalists covering water sensitization and hygiene in the FCT, represented by Wale Elekowusi, says these are critical times and urged everyone to keep the hand washing culture alive to improve the health of the people and reduce closeness to disease.
Our advice is that people should learn how to wash their hand very well, because one of the things it will do for them is to give them better health and reduce their closeness to disease, because there are critical times that people must wash their hand. Times like when you finish in the toilet, when you about to eat your food, when you have just finished, having interaction with people, shaking their hands. These are critical times you must wash your hand so that you can stay stronger and healthier. And in this market, what we are trying to do today is to sensitize the market people to begin to understand how to wash their hand very well. Because every day they exchange money, they talk to people, they meet different type of people, and so for them to be strong and be healthy, they need to make sure that their hands are clean.
The program ended with a hand washing competition by various market men and women, with the presentation of awards to winners. Hand wash equipment were also presented to each of the blocks in the market in order to remind them to keep washing their hands regularly. The theme of the program, which is Clean Hands for All, which means leaving no one behind in creating awareness and washing of hands at critical times to avoid diseases so as to live a healthy and longer life. Ogbara Ridwan, reporting for Clearview Television.
Nigeria is Africa's most populous country with various ethnic groups and cultures. The major ethnic groups are Igbo, Hausa, and Yoruba. These ethnic groups have their various cultures, foods, and assorted attires, which serve as a means of identification. However, in spite of their diversity and beliefs, women across the major ethnic divides share one attire in common, which is the gele. Our correspondent now tells us more.
In Nigeria, a dignified headgear, a component item of fashion in Nigeria, worn by women, especially during special celebrations, traditional marriages, naming ceremonies, housewarming events, etc. For events like these and such other public functions, it has become almost customary across ethnic groups in Nigeria to regard any woman who does not blend her traditional attire with gele as incomplete.
My opinion about Nigerian woman gele is that it's very nice when they put it on. It makes them more beautiful, especially now, especially the Yorubas. Even the women, there's no way you will use gele. You understand that you will not be you will be respected, and the way in fact, you look more beautiful. So even marriage concerning the women, they need it. It's important. So to complete their dressing.
I think it's a way of, it's a culture, it's a way of dressing of our people, and I think it's a modest way of dressing for women.
Gele. It's something good because it's a Nigerian traditional hairstyle for our traditional dressing. I mean dress code, So you find people wear gele when they are going for occasions, for parties, weddings, whatever birthdays, whatever occasions, good occasions, So celebration. That's when Nigerian women wear gele. It makes us look glamour, and it is good.
The traditional headgear has its roots among the Yorubas. The Yoruba use gele to complement the buba and lace, while the Igbo and Edo use the gele to blend mostly with their George wrapper. It is mostly considered a fashion misstep if any is worn without the gele. The gele over time assumes the highlight of any lady's appearance in any traditional celebration. In the 1950s and 1960s, the Nigerian fashion divas wore gele for any occasion, and this brought them admiration from women in all the climes. Just like the Western women find glory in suits and hats, the Nigerian women had the gele, which still remains the pride and crowning glory of the Nigerian women. The gele among the Yoruba can also be used to announce a woman's marital status. According to the Yorubas, the way the gele is tied indicates whether a woman is single or married. In a situation where the end of the gele leans to the right, it indicates that the wearer is married. The gele leaning to the left shows she's single. However, in the country today, especially in the urban areas, there is no indication of a woman's marital status by the way she ties her gele. Today, the gele has been improved upon and is celebrated. Women treat the headgear not just as an accessory, but as a culture that should not go into extinction. In present-day Nigeria, the evolution and styles and colors of the gele has caught the attentions of millions of people in the world. That is why tourists visiting the country, as well as or the foreign residents in the country see the Nigerian gele as a sign of reverence and cultural solidarity when attending social and public events in Nigeria. I'm Amaracho.
You're watching Clearview Television News. We'll be back after this timeout.
Hey, my guy, how far now? I say make I remind you say tomorrow na tomorrow we wan go mess up that election. Na tomorrow we wan go destroy everywhere. Guns dey, cutlass dey, bottles dey, everything dey scatter everywhere. I swear.
Solo. So you are planning to disrupt election and steal ballot. How much did chief pay you to do this thing you are doing? How much? Tell me.
Millions, dollars.
Millions, dollars compared to your life. Solomon. Chief has 3 children. Solo, 3 good children. Shegun is in Canada. Ola is in Australia. Sheyi is in the US. Why did Chief give his children the millions to do what you are about to do?
Of course, Chief is wise. His children, not you, deserve every protection. Be wise.
Who's Let me give phone to Smally, make I follow her.
It's Wasu, your former driver.
Mommy. With my Glow 4G, I can now upload my cars online, sell, and make plenty profit. Guess what they call me now, mommy? The new mega online car dealer.
Wasu, strike now when the iron is hot. See, my way won't be like that.
I will come and meet you specially and bring one big one for you.
Why you won't see me?
Your daughter. I want to marry her.
You know well, I've been wanting to do it.
Hello?
When Glow 4G day of phone, confidence must stay body. Data is oxygen. Glow 4G, the new speed of life. Your number one 4G network nationwide. The very best from Glow, the grandmasters of data.
You're welcome back. And Nigerian leaders and their citizens have been advised to follow the word of God to promote good governance in the country. Pastor Gazanala of the Higher Life Tabernacle Nyanya Abuja gave the admonition in a sermon during Sunday's Mass. He said that from creation, leaders and followers witness abundance when they follow the Lord's vision and prophecy in the conduct of state affairs. David TV's religious affairs correspondent Chinedum Batuegu has details.
Until you say what you have seen, that which is seen will not come to pass. And saying what you have seen is called prophecy.
Vision, according to the Holy Book, is a supernatural revelation given to someone in the form of a dream, while prophecy is any supernatural revelation of God, regardless of form. In other words, all visions are prophecy, but not all prophecies come in the form of vision. These were the words of Pastor Gaza, who harped on the theme Vision and Prophecy. Pastor Gaza said, without prophecy, vision cannot stand, but even in the absence of vision, prophecy can stand. He noted that for a vision to come to pass, there must be a declaration.
A vision cannot stand without prophecy because a vision has to do with seeing. So until you declare what you see, which is a vision, may not come to pass. Every vision is meant to be declared. So when you have a vision, there's a need for you to declare what you are seeing. And declaring what you are seeing is what we call prophecy. And the Holy Spirit operates in 7 dimensions. You see that in the book of Isaiah, chapter 11, verse 1. Out of the stem of Jesse shall come forth a rod and a branch, and the Spirit of the Lord shall rest upon number 1, the Spirit of wisdom, the Spirit of counsel, the Spirit of might, the Spirit of the fear of God. There are 7 of them. That is what makes the Holy Spirit.
Pastor Gaza provides further insights on the prophetic office, saying that all Christians possess the ability to prophesy, but there are certain people ordained as prophets.
Everybody can prophesy, even an ordinary believer. everybody can prophesy, but there are people who are called in the prophetic office. Prophet are those who are called into the prophetic office. But every child of God, you know now, occasionally prophetic unction can come upon you and prophesy, and you prophesy and leave you, and yet you are not the prophet.
Chinedu Mbatwebu, reporting for Clearview Television.
And on the foreign scene, Mozambique's incumbent President Filipe Nyusi has won 73% of the votes in this month's presidential poll, the Electoral Commission said, securing a landslide victory in a contest opposition parties say was marred by fraud and violence. Also for Momade, the candidate for the main opposition party and former rebel movement, Renamo, trailed behind with 21.88% of the votes. During his second five-year term, UC of the ruling Felimo party will be responsible for overseeing a gas boom led by oil giants such as ExxonMobil Corp and Total, battling an armed rebellion and delivering on a peace deal signed 2 months ago. It was hoped the October 15 presidential, legislative, and provincial poll could set the seal on the fragile deal designed to put a definitive end to 4 decades of violence between Frelimo and Renamo. But instead, the party is at risk of falling apart as opposition parties reject the results. Frelimo said the elections were free and fair. Nyusi was widely expected to triumph, but not by such a large margin. Davis Siamango of the third largest party of the Mozambique Democratic Movement, the MDM, secured just over 4% of the vote, with less than 1% going to Mario Albino, who heads up smaller party Amusi, according to the electoral body. And four journalists and their driver arrested on Saturday in Burundi have been charged with complicity in a breach of state security. The team was covering the incursion of Burundian rebels from neighboring Democratic Republic of Congo. A state prosecutor, Clement Ndikuruyo, accused the four journalists and their driver of complicity with the armed group that carried out an attack on Tuesday. An anonymous police source said the five have been taken to the central prison in Bubanza, where they are being imprisoned. The four journalists and their driver risk 5 to 10 years in prison. According to the Burundian Penal Code, the journalists work for Iwaku, one of Burundi's last independent media outlets. Reporters Without Borders has called for the immediate release of four journalists and their drivers, stressing that they did nothing more than going to verify reports of armed clashes on the spot. Human Rights Watch has also demanded their immediate release. And two former prime ministers under Abdelaziz Bouteflika have declared their intention for the presidential elections in Algeria. They are Ali Benflis and Abdelmajid Tebboune, both of them in their 70s, are products of a political system that has been in power since Algeria's independence in 1962. Ali Benflis, age 75, has been presenting himself for 15 years as the main opponent of the deposed president to whom he was very close. He was the director of Bouteflika's first presidential campaign in 1999 before being appointed chief of staff to the presidency and then head of government in 2000. Dismissed in 2003, Benflis ran against Bouteflika the following year and again in 2014, finishing second in both occasions, far behind the re-elected head of state. The second candidate to burn, 73, was a senior civil servant, then several times prefect before taking up his first ministerial functions in the early 1990s. Bouteflika appointed him Minister of Communication when he came to power in 1999 and then entrusted him with other portfolios until 2002. He reintegrated the government in 2012 and gave him the head in May 2017 before dismissing him 3 months later against the backdrop of clan fighting in Bouteflika's entourage. Both Benflis and Tebboune submitted their candidacy files to the Independent National Electoral Authority on Saturday at midnight, a few hours before the deadline. And the leader of state in Syria, Abu Bakr al-Baghdadi, who presided over its global jihad and became arguably the world's most wanted man, is reportedly dead after being targeted by a United States military raid in Syria. A U.S. official said al-Baghdadi was targeted in Idlib province of Syria. The official said confirmation that the IS chief was killed in an explosion in pending. No other details were available. President Donald Trump teased a major announcement, tweeting Saturday night that something very big has just happened. The strike came amid concerns that a recent American pullback from northeastern Syria could infuse new strength into the militant group, which had lost vast stretches of territory it had once controlled. US officials feared IS would seek to capitalize on the upheaval in Syria, but they also saw a potential opportunity that Islamic State leaders might break from more secretive routines to communicate with operatives, potentially creating a chance for United States and its allies to detect them. Al-Baghdadi led IS for the last 5 years, presiding over its ascendancy as it cultivated a reputation for beheadings and attracted hundreds of thousands of followers to a sprawling and self-styled caliphate in Iraq and Syria. He remained among the few IS commanders still at large despite multiple claims in recent years about his death, and even as his so-called caliphate dramatically shrank, with many supporters who joined the cause either imprisoned or jailed. He had long been thought to be hiding somewhere along the Iraq-Syria border. And at least 67 people have been reported killed during 2 days of protest in Iraq after clashes between demonstrators, security forces, and militia groups. Hundreds more people were injured. In the first wave of protests earlier this month, 157 people were killed and more than 6,000 injured. The protesters, mainly unemployed young men, are calling for work, better public services, and an end to corruption in their country. They blame Prime Minister Abdul Mahdi's government and Iranian-backed Shia militia groups for the continuation of years of poverty. Abdul Mahdi on Saturday deployed members of the country's counterterrorism service in an effort to contain violence in the capital, Baghdad, and the city of Nasiriyah in the south. Reports say they were instructed to use all necessary measures to end demonstrations. The city has took over checkpoints around Baghdad's central Tahrir Square after tear gas fired by security forces failed to clear the area of protesters. 7 others died after the Badr organization militia shot at protesters near their office. The group is backed by Iran, which has ties to many of Iraq's political parties. A parliamentary discussion of the protest scheduled for this Saturday was cancelled after failing to reach a quorum, which with many politicians staying home to avoid the violence. Iraq was occupied by Western forces after the US led invasion in 2003, and until 2017, it also suffered under an Islamic State insurgency, but the past 2 years had been relatively stable. You're watching Clearview Television News. Up next is sports.
There it is. What a shot from Tiger. And the Jamaican juggernaut scores his first goal for a professional side. And
You're welcome back. And in sports, the former Minister of Youth and Sports, Solomon Dalong, has recommended walking and jogging exercise for all cadre of the Federal Civil Service, including the Federal Executive, Senate, and House of Representatives. Dalong stated this at Federation of Civil Service Games monthly walking and jogging exercise in Abuja, where he reiterated the importance of exercise to the body. Sports Minister commends fair play to leap International College for offering scholarships to 25 students.
Despite heavy downpour in Abuja, over 7,000 civil servants turned out for this month walking and jogging exercise. The event, which witnessed the appearance of the former Minister of Youth and Sports, Solomon Dalong, the Permanent Secretary for Ministry of Transport, Sabiu Zekari, and the Director General, Office of the Surveyor General of the Federation, Adeniro Taiwo, had aspired to the occasion as workers continued to jog in the rain. Speaking at the venue of the event, former Minister of Youth and Sports, Solomon Dalong, recommended walking and jogging for all cadres of civil service.
Jogging is quite important to healthy living. If you look at the turnout today, and if you look at the spirit with which the civil servant gathered, people are happy, people are fraternized, they have come together, they have even forgotten their challenges. This is how powerful this jogging is. I will appeal that it should be introduced at all level of governance. The federal executive should have his jogging. The president and his family should have his jogging. The Senate president and the National Assembly should have the jogging. The governors should have it, and down to the local level, so that we can imbibe the culture of healthy living.
The Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Transport, Malam Sabiu Zakari, and Director General, Office of the Surveyor General of the Federation, said they are quite impressed with the massive turnout of civil servants, while also assuring they will give total support to the workers in their ministry to ensure that they perform creditably well at the forthcoming FEPGA Games.
Definitely our ministry is going to participate fully. We have been participating, and the fact that I have seen what has happened today, I assure you that I will give all the necessary support to the sports club as we have been given. I will encourage to give more. I'm encouraged now to give more, and I assure you that Federal Ministry of Transportation will appear to come first.
Honestly, apart from that, the sporting activities are very good. Our people are going to participate. And coming here to see it myself, it is very clear that there are so many opportunities we can even get. I was talking to the DG Nostra the other time. For instance, Nostra and Surveyor General Office has a lot of things to do together. It's going to help our work, and we are going to participate fully. And there are certain things I call matters arising. We come or we are going for FESGA. I can tell you there are going to be so many other matters arising. So we are going to participate fully.
The president of FEPSGA, Comrade Aloko Amebi, expressed his happiness over turnout of civil servants despite the rain, while calling on workers to say FEPSGA as their own.
Turnout was so encouraging. The program was a success, and it was unprecedented. And we want to use this opportunity to call on all MDAs. This program is meant for them. If a former minister of sports can come, permanent secretaries can come, we are also expecting that all public servants should go key into the FEPSGA program. The next one is coming up last Saturday of the month, that's November, after which we'll prepare for the annual public service games.
The last monthly walking and jogging exercise will be held in November before the FEPSA Games, scheduled for December.
The Minister of Youth and Sports, Sunday Dare, has commended Fair Play Tulip International School for offering scholarship to some students who participated at last National Youth Games in Ilorin. Sunday Dare said this in line with FG's commitment to support development of grassroots sports through a new initiative of the Headmasters and Principals Cup tournament. Sunday Dare stated this at his office in Abuja when the 25 athletes were presented to him by the Director Grassroots Sport Development Ademola Are of Youth and Sports Ministry.
The Minister of Youth and Sport Development, Honorable Sunday Dari, has reiterated the commitment of the ministry to support development of grassroots sport and the nurturing of talents. In letter with the ministry achievement in securing full scholarship for 25 young athletes in Abuja, Dari made this assertion during a visit by the Discover Talent of National Youth Games in Ilorin and representative of Nigeria Tulip International Colleges in his conference room at the MKO Abiola National Stadium, Abuja. Nigeria Tulip International College is partnering with the ministry to give the athletes 100% scholarship for their secondary school education. The Vice Principal Academics of Nigerian Tulip International Colleges, Bob Ode Uchi, in his remarks thanked the minister for coming to turn around sports in the country and stated that the school thought wise to bring forth a new way of involving our youth in sports even as they study.
We have these projects upcoming,
And we have just started by picking out of these athletes, selecting them. They are going to be subjected to series of, tests, trying to see how they can now showcase what they have in them. And a few of them are going to be selected, and as such, we are going to give them sponsorship, scholarship. I mean, 100% scholarship for their entire secondary school education. I sincerely feel that we cannot really do it all alone. We really feel honored and feel privileged with this partnership we're having with the ministry to see that we don't just educate our Nigerian children, we try to see how we can bring out their inherent talent.
Minister said validate the country's strategic plans as a nation to grow all sports across board.
Today, then, is also a validation of a campaign we started. The campaign is called Adopt an Athlete under the Adoption Campaign. The Adoption Campaign targets both individuals and organizations like Tulip, pitching to them and say, partner with us to adopt one, two, three, four number of athletes and support them in their training, in their education, and other spheres. We're happy this afternoon that Tulip International College here in Abuja, Nigeria, has plugged in to partner with the ministry. I think this is unprecedented, and I think it serves to open the door for greater partnerships with schools, individuals, and other corporate bodies.
The school, which already runs a football academy, will employ coaches to train between 11 to 25 athletes in 7 different sports. After coach, they will be given 100% scholarship.
That will be all, but before we go, a look at our top stories. The Lagos State House of Assembly has again summoned ex-governor Kiwumi Ambode to appear before it on Wednesday, October 30, over alleged shady financial transactions. The federal government has inaugurated a mini milk collection center in Kano as part of moves to alleviate the plight of milk sellers and improve their business. And United States President Donald Trump has confirmed the killing of the world's most wanted terrorist, Abubakar al Baghdadi. That's news. Remember that you can subscribe to our YouTube channel via Clearview Facebook, by Clearview Television. Follow us on Twitter at Clearview Online. Follow us on Instagram at ClearviewTV_NG. You can also watch Clearview TV on night comes out with any free-to-air decoder. For details, contact your local installer. I am Prudence Okona. Many thanks for watching.